Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow, and I'm here early in the morning, just coming here to speak to you just for a moment about the things that are transpiring and taking place right before our very eyes here in America. If you notice, some time ago, if you go back in my archives, along about May the 3rd, I clearly spoke about how the United States of America next move will be going into Iran. And of course, now, this false flag and everything else that they're making up is just off the chain. We hear this and many of us go, oh my Lord. I mean, here we go again. Here we go again. The lies just don't seem to ever stop. And of course, those of us that are awake, we function and we operate off a different wavelength than those that are asleep. And you have to understand, the brothers and sisters, whether we like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to see how uncivilized civilization really truly is. When you look and you see all these people up there that's protesting on Wall Street, and you notice the total media blackout, my question to you is, why are you still watching it? Why are you even looking at a TV? I mean, what in the world is going on? You see, there would never, ever be any lasting change in your life until you first change this thing up here. That's called your mind. I just got finished going through God's gathering of the saints. And, we talked to people a lot of stuff. I had some very unselfish men come down here. They took of their vacation. They took of their own time. And they bought their skill sets here to actually teach and train a people who otherwise would not have an opportunity to experience what they experienced here at God's. And I like to send a shout out to Pastor Fox and Brother Dave, Brother Aaron, Brother Jerry, and all the other instructors, Brother Mike, and all them that came and gave of themselves, gave of them time, spent their money to come and actually inform and train a people to try to help them improve on their skill sets as we continue to see this world changing around about us. Now, most people who are selfish don't have time. I'm getting, man, I wish I could have come. Man, I would like to be there. Hey, we gave you an 8-month notice. And you mean to tell me that you couldn't be there? I mean, I have a brother that is still here from California that's going to stay all the way throughout Tabernacles. And he drove 3 days to get here. 3 days. And he's still here. And he's going to be going back up to Tabernacles and stuff. And I tell you, when you watch the mindset of the people who listen to this ministry and the quality of the type of people that they are, it's utterly amazing. And I'll tell you the reason why it's utterly amazing, because they think differently than the people who have been trained and had their minds coerced and manipulated and function after society. That's why I'm against what you will call education, because they hadn't taught you anything. Just the other day, we was in church and I said, isn't that something? Columbus Day. I said, Columbus Day? Now you tell me, how in the world can a man get a day named after him who has never stepped foot in his land? You know the reason why? Because the powers that be all agree what they're going to do. And then they pass it on to you. And then they keep the stuff that you should know from you. And so when you get people like me talking to you, trying to inform you, trying to wake you up, trying my best to put a defibrillator on your mindset to get you to change what you're doing, because, hey, the definition of insanity is continue to keep doing the same things you always done and expect change. You can forget about it. It ain't going to happen. But people learn how to be more disciplined. And I think what I'm getting to is this. I'm wondering who is going to be the power broker deal to try to diffuse this mess and this energy that's continuing to keep escalating here in the United States of America. Because the God of jobs have left this country. And a lot of these people who are very prideful and had a nose stuck up in the air and used to look down upon people because they had more money, these same people are now living in tents and living in cars. And the reason why that we go through extraordinary means to try our best to inform you, because I have a heart for people. I really, truly do. And I know who my enemy is. The problem with you, you don't know who your enemy is. And your enemy keeps deceiving you. That's the reason why Pastor Dow tell you, you can forget about putting your trust in politicians. They're nothing but broker deals. If you're waiting on the next election to change something, you're already deceived. I tell you what, just go back to sleep and have it your way, because that's what you're going to get. You're going to get it your way, and you're going to get a whole lot more than you anticipated. That's the reason why I tell you, forget about this political junk. There ain't no savior. There ain't no in the political arena or realm. You can forget about it. It's over. That's why I tell you, hey, don't you have enough sense to know a lie when you hear it? How is it that some of you people still sitting up there in these satanic, pagan, Sunday churches? How is it? I mean, you are an intelligent people. How is it that you're still sitting in those places? You see, I understand one simple fact. Unless a leader says something that is able to stimulate the minds of the people, and he can be intrusive and provocative in his delivery, and not only the truth that comes forward, because anytime you represent truth, you stand for truth. Anybody who opposes evil and you put forth the truth, you always make enemies. You just look at the history of this country. But what you need to do, all you people out there protesting, you people who think about protesting, because the reason why you're out there protesting is because you're not ready. And most of you people out there who are still slaves in this country. And if you notice, slavery in the time we live in now has no color whatsoever at all. And it does not discriminate. It makes no difference if you're black or white. If you are in debt, well up over above your eyes, and you can't pay off that debt within 6 months, you are a slave. The borrower is a servant to the lender. And you're going to hurt, and it's going to be bad. And I said it once before, and I'll say it again, that many of you out there are getting ready to experience what it means to be hungry. Many of you are getting ready to experience what it means. You have no skill sets. You have no skill sets. You don't know how to go out in the woodline. And when we make stuff available, you're not there. And we put it out 8 months in advance. I'm already looking at a tentative date. And of course, we got for the next GOTS. But you know what the problem we got is that we have people, and they did it in the year 2000. I told people that nothing was going to happen in 2000. Everybody thought 2000 was a pivotal year. And so a lot of people thought that the Messiah was coming. They thought that Jesus was coming. And then when he didn't come, they lost faith and lost hope. The truth is their heart wasn't in the right place. And what did they do? They turned back to the weaker and beggarly elements of this earth. And they turned back to the thing that they love. And they did not continue on therein. Now, here we are, almost 12 years later. And, of course, we got all this stuff that's getting ready to take place. People have a heightened sense of awareness. They have an anticipation in them, the way they think things are going to happen. And it doesn't happen the way they think things are going to happen. Then they lose heart. They lose faith. And then what do? Because they're weak in mind, weak in body, weak in conscience, weak in spirits, they go, ain't nothing. What's the use? That's what cowards do. But those of us that inform, we approach every single day, of every single moment, of every hour, of every single year, always with preparedness and being ready. Because you just never know. It's always best to be prepared. It's even best to be overly prepared than not prepared at all. And most of you don't even know. Hey, Pastor Joe Fox talked to people how to make a shelter out in the woodline. And he asked questions. He got everybody active. He taught people how to build fires. Most people have never built a fire in their life, except the attitudes that we pop off with when we're angry at somebody. We're on fire then. Brother Aaron taught people how to tie knots. Knots that you're going to need in case you just never know when these skill sets are going to be required of you. And the only skill set that most of you have is a remote control in your hand. The only skill set that most of you have is being able to go to the gas pump and put more money in that gas tank that's going up in the air, and you have not prepared yourself. My wife and Sister Sandy went over herbal cleanses, and they talked to people how you could better take care of yourself rather than depending upon the system. to try to keep you healthy, because in case you hadn't noticed, we're going to have a lot of people dying in this country because we're running out of medical supplies, because the powers that be have gutted this country. They're finished with it. And they're turning their interest towards Asia. See, this used to be the new world. Now this is the old world. And this old world is getting ready to experience third world status. It's already on the decline. And you can forget about your lying president trying to create jobs out of thin air. You can't create jobs unless the corporations are over here. How about this? Let me give you a new thought. Rather than you going out there depending on the system to give you your livelihood, how about you change your mindset? And how about you start functioning after a different attitude and spirit? How about you started making waves and making moves to protect yourself and get the necessities that are in life first, which is food, clothing, and shelter? How about we start thinking like that? That way, if a disaster comes, whether it be a tornado, whether it be a flood, no matter what it be, whether it be a nuclear holocaust, which most of them ain't ready for that either. I don't think too many people is ready for that. Whether these trucks stop running to this store, because Walmart is going to be the distribution center for the New World Order. And most of you don't know and didn't know me when I said that years ago. So whether you like it or not, they are going to be the distribution center for the New World Order. Many of you get ready because you've already turned over your sovereignty. You've already turned over your mindset. You've already turned your family over because your lack of interest, because you will not change your mind. And most of you are going to suffer. There's going to be a weep, and there's going to be a howl that goes all throughout this land because of your ignorance. And most of you who are older than I am and got a bunch of this gray stuff on your face, it is ridiculous how sad and sorry you are that you did not prepare. And you say that you can see that Rome is burning, and you did not prepare, and you're going to have all them children and all these people depending upon you while you and your little sorry self sit up there and crying, moaning, and bawling and squalling, and you have no answers for them. It is going to be ugly in this country. My advice to you people is, number one, you better get your wicked hearts right. You better change your attitude, because whether you like it or not, you're going to be forced to change. You better get out of those cities, because there's going to be chaos, utter chaos, and a lot of people dying. And if you don't know what it means to listen to someone that has wisdom, go back and turn on CNN. They got it all the answers. Turn on Fox News too. Man, they got it all. Don't them Jezebel prostitutes look good? Whoa, they mesmerize. Get your eyes bigger than mine, boy, and you think you got all the answers because you're looking for somebody to tell you what you want to hear, rather than being able to look out and discern the signs of the time and see that it ain't getting any better, and it's not going to get any better either. You just got finished hearing the truth, and you heard it straight way. You better come out of those churches. You better stop putting your money in a bag with holes. You better find somebody who is in touch with the Most High, that knows what's going on, and you better prepare your heart, you better prepare your mind, you better save yourselves from this untoward generation. And that's the truth, and that's the truth straightway.